All right, one. All right, Shalom. Um, First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Shem,
Bahasham,
God,
Yahushua, Bahasham,
God. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. And we are here once again. We're out here a little later than usual, but still gonna get right into it. As you can see in the title, watching it all unfold. And actually, that's one of the beautiful things about being in the position that we're in, is that we get to look at things from a bird's eye view. We get to be from the outside looking in. We're not on one side of the spectrum, nor are we on the other side of the spectrum. We're on the side of prophecy. So as you watch some people rejoice, as you watch some people yeah, man. As you watch some people rejoice, you watch some people rage, what I'm saying, start spazzing out over this whole election stuff. To us, it's really like watching a movie unfold, because all of these things we read up in the scriptures, and it's sort of like just ticking off, on the checklist, the things that are written in here that are getting ready to happen. So as people make a fool of themselves, right, and more people go out there and start spazzing, which is really just the beginning. There's more coming down the pike. This is just the beginning of it, okay? But as that goes on and people start doing all this extra nonsense, we step back, because the Heavenly Father he still has plans for this place, right? We're still in the time of the working of the Heavenly Father. And people think that life is over because Kamala lost, or life is just beginning because Trump won. But on the world scale, there's something much bigger at play over here. And that's what people are about to find out. See, what they're not paying attention to are the different pathogens going out here, that are lurking in the background. You still got the bird, the angry bird going on, okay, amongst different other diseases that are out here lurking in the background. The whole Black Swan events, the poly crisis, all of these things, they're still there. And they rear their ugly heads little by little every here and there, and then they go back down. And people just completely are oblivious to it, because everybody's distracted by this election. So it's just a matter of time. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Khan, man. Like you said, everything is kind of like building up, but only the elect seem to be the ones who could see it, right? Because we understand the order of prophecy, right? So because of prophecy, when these things are happening, like for example, when after the whole Trump thing, Trump election win, Elon Musk came out and two tweets that he put out there that I've seen brothers touch on that, all right? But I saw it as well, which was the first one was Trump won, and he said the prophecy has been fulfilled, and then it was 69.9%. Okay, and we saw it as, oh, okay, the prophecy has been fulfilled. We see that 666, right? 69.9%. That's very interesting. Okay, that's also symbolic of what the 2/3, 66.6, right? So the 2/3 number of those who will be destroyed on this side, that's the percentage that they have, right? And then the other post that he put was Novus Ordo Seclorum, where he was standing with Trump. I said, well, what the, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here, right? So these are all things that we, as the scripture says in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, that the Lord has made us watchmen unto the house of Israel, right? That's what we do. So we have the eyes, the unction from the Heavenly Father, so we know all things. So when we see these things pertaining to Second Corinthians 2:11, we're not ignorant of these devices. They're putting it out there in your face, but you got people, like you were doing a video on it, these women are raging, going crazy, right? All because of an election that they have no idea how it even works, But let's get a quick precept just to kick it off. All right. There's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 12. It says, and this is what's coming, right? The signs are all there leading to that, as Apostle Paul talks about, that sudden destruction that cometh upon them as a woman in travail, and they're not going to escape. Okay. 2025 is right around the corner. And if you've been paying attention to everything that's been going on in 2024, you should know that, oh, okay, this whole Trump thing could be the catalyst to what's really about to unfold that these prophets have been talking about pertaining to biblical prophecy. Okay, World War III, nuclear, right? The MOTB being made mandatory upon the face of the earth, right? AI, so-called technology, all right, being used as a form of miracles to deceive the people to take the MOTB. These are all things we're seeing right now that's building up to. You see, Jacob's trouble, the time like never before. These are all things that we're leading to come 2025. You see, and even a few months now before then, right? All these things could happen, right? So let's read. It says Ecclesiastes 9:12. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. Right. So the same thing when you read in the NLT, right? And if a brother could get Ezekiel 7, going into a time, an evil time has come, right? It says Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 12 in the NLT says people can never predict when hard times might come, right? So, but even though you have the prophets, these people still don't listen to the prophets. They don't hear it. What did Isaiah say? He said, Lord, who have believed our report? Right? We were out here. They've seen us. A lot of people ridicule us. They mock us, you know? So when the time comes, you can't say, oh, I didn't know. No, you did know. All right? You're just not of the elect. So the Lord didn't take you in, right? It says, like fish in a net or birds in a trap, people are caught by sudden tragedy. Okay? And that sudden tragedy is what's coming. Okay? That's the next thing. That once that thing happens, everything when it comes to end time prophecy is going to pick up. All right? Because guess why? Why do I say that? The Euphrates River, as we speak right now, is almost dried up. And we know what that means in biblical prophecy. Okay? But you got it, bro. If you got Ezekiel 7, and then you could jump in from there.
Ezekiel 7:1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto the land of Israel.
Now, at this point in time, there was a reason why the Lord kept on. When you read the first few chapters of Ezekiel, after the Lord came to Ezekiel, he kept on showing Ezekiel the wickedness of Israel to justify what he was going to do to Israel, the calamities he was going to bring. So he kept on showing them, look, well, that's why he's going into it, right? I'm going to bring this judgment because look at the shit they're doing. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. And the thing about it, too, is that it's not just like, okay, look at what they're doing, and you're like, okay, Lord, why don't you go and talk to them or send us, and then we'll be good. No, the Lord is telling you, it doesn't matter if you talk to them or not. Trust me, they're not going to change. So the only thing left now is that judgment. Go ahead.
And then the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee.
And that happened back then. And now the representation of the land is really where the people are. Okay, so because the thing about it is, yes, we're reading about something that happened historically, but it's like saying when I was 7 years old, my mom whooped my ass for stealing candy, and I'm 12 years old and I'm still stealing candy. What you think is gonna happen to you? So it doesn't matter if she whooped you. Okay, you're talking about a time that happened when you were 7 years old. It's about the cause and effect. If you put your hand in fire when you're 3 years old and you get burned, what do you think is going to happen when you put your hand in fire when you're 15 years old? You're going to get burned. So when Israel was doing this wickedness, that's why the Lord said he changes not. Israel was doing this wickedness back then. He brought this judgment upon them. They're doing the wickedness now. What's the Lord going to do? He's going to bring that judgment upon them. So that's why we're able to go back and refer to these judgments the Lord pronounced against Israel for their wicked deeds. And they say, you're doing the same thing you did back then. Therefore, these are the kinds of judgments the Lord is going to bring upon you.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9 in the NLT. It says, history merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. So to add to your point, Israel is doing the same wickedness, so the same consequence is going to come about. Yeah, during that time, sorry, during that time, that was the ancient time, yeah, the Heavenly Father had his various ways that he would bring judgment. But yeah, when a new age, so what? The Heavenly Father is going to bring his certain judgments in a certain way. That's why it says it's going to come upon the whole land. Yeah, back then I was talking about Israel, but now in modern time, like, forgot, let me paraphrase the scripture where it says, God damn it, the brain just forgot to. The Lord God, his eyes upon the sinful kingdom.
Yeah. I think
Right.
Amos.
Okay, that was during that time, but what? It's also applied to this time. What's it saying? Romans 15:4. Whatsoever is written aforetime is written for our learning. So if the consequences that, or the things that our people were doing back then were upon certain consequences, then hey, if you're doing those same things, or history is just repeating itself, or you're just repeating history, then the same outcome is going to happen again.
Yeah. Same equation, different numbers. You know, same thing. So at the end of the day, That's why we're reading these scriptures and we're going into it and warning our people. God.
Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee.
Yeah, so think of it like this, right? When you have sometimes you have a professor, they teach the class. You got a professor, they're teaching a class, and then the students are like, taking the class for granted, right? And sometimes the professor will say, look, I don't need to do this. I get paid. You're the one who needs to pass the test. I already took the test. I already know the information. So when we're out here and we're going into these things and we're going into we know these things. When we do videos, we don't do lessons because we're now learning what we're doing the lesson on. Now you may go and do some research, find something out, but even still, you now know it before you go out and you teach it. So when we come out and we go into the prophecies about the MOTB, don't take it. Stop committing adultery. Stop doing this wickedness. We already know that. We've already done that. We're already doing those things, that the Lord requires of us. You now need to know this. So if you think we're out here because we just want to waste our time, when we're not out here anymore, we're good. If the Lord was to take us off the streets today, we would know what to do. You wouldn't. We wouldn't have to look for each other. Okay? We could all be separated in different areas and we'll be fine because we know how the Lord operates and we know how to interact with the Lord. We know how to maneuver about in this world. We know the do's and we know the don'ts. You need teachers. You need guides. And that's why you're supposed to be learning now. So eventually you get to the point where you can maneuver on your own. Okay?
And will judge thee according to thy ways.
See that? The Lord said he's going to judge you according to your ways. So the Most High is not partial. Okay, even though technically to Israel he is, but within Israel he's not partial. To say, because there's a scripture that talks about how Israel says the ways of the Lord are unequal, and the Lord says are not your ways unequal, because you expect to do wrong and be rewarded for it. But the Lord is saying here, I'm going to judge you according to your ways. That's good and bad. If you do good, you will be rewarded. What did he tell Cain? If you do good, shall thou not be rewarded? And if you don't do good, then sin lieth at the door. So if you do wickedness, there's already honestly, it's kind of like the Lord doesn't really even need to do much because he already preset the things that are going to happen. You are well aware of what happens when you do these wicked acts. And you are well aware of what happens if you do the righteous acts. So the Lord says, look, I'm not like some teachers will tell you, oh, you earned your grade. I didn't give you that grade. Your grade was based on the work you gave me. So if you don't do your assignments and you get a 0, you can't say he gave me a 0. You brought 0 work. So the Lord is saying, if you're doing wickedness, you can't expect salvation. God.
And will recompense upon thee all thine abominations.
Yeah, I'm going to recompense, meaning I'm going to pay you back your abominations. So what are some examples of those abominations? The scriptures talk about a man lying with another man being an abomination. And yet, really, now hold on a second. Let's really think about what exactly is going on here. So when we watch the compilation, right? The compilation, and look at this with an objective mind. You watch the compilation of videos of people spazzing out and losing their minds because Kamala Harris lost the election. What are some of the things she was pushing and promoting in this God-fearing country, right? That abortion, the TGs, right? The inclusiveness, the things that are considered an abomination to the Lord, she was promoting and pushing. She went over there to Africa to tell them they got to support sodomites, or else they're going to take away the incentives and deals that they got with them, with those countries over there. So she went out to spread the whoredoms of America. And you're telling me people are losing their minds, crying and hating other people because she lost the election. They're crying, saying their relationships with their families are over. Women are saying they're not going to be with men. They're not going to go on dates. That's going to work against you. There's a whole lot of women out there. First off, women outnumber men. You're already working from the bottom up, because there's less men out there and more women. So for every one woman that says she's a part of the 4B movement, there's about 4 or 5 other women that are okay, that look better than you. So when you come up with that, they act like men are you're really a threat to us, and so you know what? Go to the caves, go to the wilderness somewhere, and go live by yourselves, and see what would happen over there. You would go extinct so fast. The Lord designed men to be self-sustainable. It's not so with women. The U.S. Senator?
Yeah, I was just gonna. This is gonna probably add to your point. And this is mostly geared towards women. You cannot say that you're a Christian woman with Christian values and that you're a God-fearing woman, but Salakia, not trying to get the channel taken out, but you're okay with abortion and things like that. So I just have to say this again. You can't say that. You can't sit there and say, because what is fear? Fear is reverence, but also actually fear. Like you're afraid that this person's gonna mess you up. So if you're a Christian woman, you say you have Christian values, and you say you're a God-fearing woman, that means that you reverence the Heavenly Father, and you also fear the consequence of what will happen if you disobey the Heavenly Father. So therefore, if you're saying that you're a God-fearing woman, but yet, here it is, you're okay with abortion, you're not truly a God-fearing woman. You don't really fear what the Heavenly Father is not okay with, because the Heavenly Father is not okay with abortion. That is murder. Now, they try to cross the line or like try to walk the line of, oh, well, at what point is the fetus alive? Listen, if something is growing inside there, it's living, it's alive. There's a spirit that's put in there, and now the body just has to go through the growth development. There is something living inside of the woman. Don't try to walk that fine line of, oh, well, when does the fetus come alive? When does it not? You know, we're trying to figure it out. Nah. Once it goes in there, the spirit's in there, that stuff starts going, there's something living in there.
Right. That's right. Like the Quran said, they rather the bears. And they actually said that. Right? They actually said that they would rather bears than men. 1 second. You got women that'll run through oncoming traffic to avoid a dog.
Or a cockroach.
You know, or a cockroach or a mouse. You know, she sees a rat and she's losing her shit. Like, you'll see how athletic a woman can be if there's a rat in there. You know what I'm saying? This bitch will stick to the ceiling like Spider-Man. You wonder how the fuck she doing that? Because there's a rat, right? And you telling me these are the same women that are saying, I would rather a bear? First off, even a man, even 5 men seeing a bear like that, know that, all right, maybe today's the day. They're gone. You know what I mean? If you see a big, like an actual bear, you know, bears, you got bears that are the size of cars, you know, and they're looking at you, and don't let the size fool you. A bear is fast, you know. Y'all got bears? Yeah, a bear is fast.
I didn't say it. Let's just say that.
You know, you gotta beware of them things. So they're fast and aggressive, and they maul. Look, there was a video of somebody who was trying to feed a bear outside his car window, and then there's a reason why they tell you don't feed them. Oh, no, it's just so nice. He stuck his head out there, and that bear took the food and then went for his hand and tried to get up in that car, and it got aggressive very quickly. You know, so that whole thing of we would rather the bears than the men, I wholeheartedly agree with you, and in fact, I think I would like to see you do that. But we haven't seen one woman do that. And this is the point I was making in the lesson that I did, which is that these women speak out of their ass, literally, because 99% of the things that they say, those kinds of women, they don't mean it in the slightest sense, and they will be the same person to come back and tell you, oh, you know, I didn't mean that. I was just saying that. You said it like you said. You literally said out of your own mouth, I mean it. I effing mean it. This is what I'm gonna do. And that's why you don't listen to them.
Hey, if I may add, a lot of them, they going to get their wish.
Oh yeah.
A lot of you hoes going to get that wish because the scriptures talks about the teeth of wild beasts.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about bears and stuff, they don't be real. A lot of people, they like spooky season, they like Halloweens. You're going to get all of that. You're going to get bears, ghouls, goblins, demons, zombies. You're going to be an I Am Legend. And you ain't Will Smith, bitch. You ain't going to make it.
Yep. You got it. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I was just gonna also say that pretty much, you know, just to add to your point with the women, that essentially, yeah, they're gonna get their wish, because some of them will say, oh, we're not dealing with men. Well, men was already beginning to like not want to deal with you anyways. Well, like the whole MGTOW movement. So we're not gonna deal with men. We're not gonna suit men. Well, there's probably, we don't really truly know the true numbers, but there's been a lot of men that have left, not just black men, but men in general that have left America and went across seas and dealt with women on the eastern side of the world. So there's already, like you were saying, a lack of men. There's in general a lack of men over here because some of them have went across seas and said to hell with not just the American black woman, but just the American woman in general. So now, like you're saying, that's where Isaiah 4:1 comes in. Then shall they take hold of one man, 7 women. Because now it's going to be like there's a lack of men literally here, but then just also mentally there's going to be a lack of men in general. Because what? It's not just being a man physically, but also being a man mentally as well. So there's going to be a lot of women seeking to men in these last days. Because of why? Because they what is it? There's not a lot of men here in general. Also because men have just checked out with women entirely because they just don't want to deal with the nonsense, the nastiness, the whole single mother stuff. Men don't want to have to deal with that now. So when you're saying all this stuff about, oh, I'm not dealing with men, this and that, it's like, okay, you're not hurting nobody, like you said, but yourself. You just make, all you're doing is that some of those men that are very cold and callous are just gonna be like, look, stick to your words that what you said. A lot of you want to sit there and say that you're the, you know, those independent women. Well, be independent. I can do whatever you can do. What's that? That slogan they had with the woman, I can do it too, and they had their muscle up like this. Okay, live by that. You know what's they saying? Bite the bullet. Do what you said you was gonna do. Be that way then.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, at the end of the day, man, if they had, you know, say you took somebody, even somebody like Ted Bundy, right, or somebody that is very very widely despised or hated, especially by women. Maybe somebody like what's the guy that passed, Kevin Samuels, right? And put the women, the same women that come on here and they, I mean, absolutely hate him. They want to see him gone. That rejoiced when he died, right? Now let's say something happened, and I don't know, they cut the corner and they saw this like hyena or some shit, and this hyena starts staring them down, chasing them, and then they see this guy, Kevin Samuels over there. Do you think that they're gonna say, you know what, I'll take my chances with the hyena and fight it off, rather than to ask for help from Kevin Samuels, even though I hate him so much? Because if you hate him so much, then you should say, I don't even want nothing to do with you. I'd rather just deal with what I gotta deal with over there. That's not gonna happen. So the whole point is that whole tough talk, as though you're standing on business when you're standing on emotions instead. It's we can see right through that. You know, we can see right through that, and it's better you don't say anything than to say something and then now you got to fall back on it. You got it?
Yeah, real quick. That's a beautiful point you made, and that's the thing about society, especially American society, is they never tell you the reality of situations. It's always propaganda and some bullshit just to pacify you. And then when the real shit happens, here you are, you get caught off guard. When you go to these other nations, I believe brothers even did videos on it. They're telling their people to start getting ready for some form of nuclear attack. You know what I mean? But here it is. Women are talking about, oh, the woman who's supposed to come in and give us abortion rights didn't make it, so now we're all mad. Like, what? What's going on? But guess what? At the end of the day, naturally, women, like you gave an example how if they were to meet Kevin Samuels or the animal, who they're going to go around, they're going to obviously go, they're not even going to ask. Like, oh, can I join you? If you see when shit goes down, women don't go around asking, hey, can I join you? They instinctively see, oh, there's a man, I'm going where he's at. You see? So you, all this like, oh, we don't need no man. This is exactly the things that you're doing now is what sets up the stage where you actually need a man. You see? And then now it's like, fuck, now I got to bite the bullet, like Shalaman said. You know, it always happens that way. You get hyped up, and then boom, the reality hits, and then you realize, man, maybe I shouldn't have been saying all this stuff. And I'll give a quick example. Yesterday, after I got off work, the sun had gone down, and I hit the bank. So as I'm going in there, I see one car. It was two ladies, two women, and one of them was driving her car towards the other one's front of her car. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, so I'm assuming it's a battery problem. She need a jump start. So then something says, how about you just sit here and just watch and see how this all plays out? You know? And you know it's a disaster coming. So you just sitting there, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, nah, you know what? And then as I was pulling in, they both looked at my direction, like eyes open, like, oh, there's a menace around. Oh shit, you know? Yeah. You know? So when I seen that, I said, yeah, I'm just gonna milk this one. So I went, got inside, did my thing, take my time. And as I'm back, I sat in the car. As soon as I sat in the car, I tried to start it. I see them kind of like their shoulders shrug, like, ah, shit. I said, oh. Meanwhile, there's a dude who was in the passenger seat. So he pops out, and then he's like, he has the cables and everything. And I'm like, yeah, he's gonna spark this shit up. So I stepped out. I went in. I said, hey, how you guys doing? Everything good? Like, oh yeah, oh, we're hoping you stop by. I said, hoping you stop by. Yeah, okay. You know, under any other circumstances, it would have been, oh, just another black guy passing. Let's just walk away. You know. But now it's like, oh, we're in a trouble situation. I don't care who you are, what you are. You seem like you know what's going on. Can I be with you? Can I be around you? That kind of thing. That's how it's going to be. You know. So that's the reality. When we come here, we talk about these things coming to pass. We're telling you your future. You know what I'm saying? Scripture tell you, rise up, you women that are at ease. Okay. This is the time where you have to start gathering your shit. Like, yo, the reality is setting in. You know, Kamala Harris came and lied to you the whole time for all these months, and ain't nothing came out of it. She got blown out the water completely. You know what I'm saying? Go to show you when you women make this, when you women are in front of something making decisions, it ends up in a disaster. All right. When the men decide, oh, we're gonna go with Trump, da da da, what happened? He comes in and blows her out the water completely and makes history. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, what happened? She got annihilated completely. You know, like never before. They said in first time in history. You see? So it makes sense. You women make you try to go make history. First black woman, first president, women president, completely destroyed, completely out of here. You out of there. That's how it's gonna be when the shit goes down. The men are always gonna be in a better case because we're physically programmed to survive when it comes to shit like that. Women are physically programmed to depend on somebody for their survival. You see, we were the Lord created Adam first, and then Eve came after that as a help me. So you're here to help me. You're depending on me for life, so that I can also depend on you to help out with the things I need you to help out on. But you're not here to be alone. You see, Adam was alone, and the Lord said, "No, it's not good for man to be alone." All right, doesn't mean that we can't be alone. Shit, some of us we thrive. We do better when we're alone. You know, because you have less distractions. Everything is focused on whatever it is that your agenda or your goal is. And in this case, it's serving the Lord. See, that's why the Apostle Paul said, "Those who are married be as though you were not married." All right, roughly paraphrasing. You know, if you have wives, be as though you had none. Right. So that means your mind is always focused. It's hard, but guess what? That's why the Lord gave us the spirit we have. We can overcome it. You see? We can overcome it. All right, but you women, you're not gonna overcome this one. The troubles are coming. Get ready. You got it, bros.
God, shalom. Let me come back in.
This is just a precept to edify on the point. This is Exodus chapter 2, verse 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the throws with water. And filled the throws to water their father's flock. Verse 17 is the point. I'll read in the NLT as well. So KJV said, and the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered the flock. If you read the NLT, it says, but some other shepherds came and chased them away. So Moses jumped up and rescued the girls from the shepherds. Then he drew water for their flock. It just got add to the point that what? The shepherds came and was like, nah, you ain't taking the water. Kick them out of there. And then Moses had to step in like, nah. However, it went down, nah, not so. And he helped them get some water so that way they could take care of the flock. And then later it tells you when the daughters went and told Jethro was the man of the 7 daughters, father of the 7 daughters. He was like, oh, this man did this for you. Where's he at? Bring him over here. To take care of, because like he did a good thing right there.
So even in that, right? Like his mindset was, yo, he just did this and you just left him out there?
Yeah.
Like, bring him in here. But they didn't even think to do that, you know? So that's a good point that you brought out there, going to show you. And like I said, man, when you go back in time, right, and the more you go into history, the closer you get to the point of creation. And the point of creation is the closest we were to perfection than we are now, right? As time has gone forward, people have actually gotten further and further away from the way that they were meant to live. And you can learn a lot from history, okay? When you look at some of the things that are happening now that didn't really happen then, look at some of the actions and liberties that are given now that they didn't have back then. Okay, yeah. People were oppressed this, people were oppressed that, but it was less diseases, less of this whole divorce and crazy ass wild murders and all these things going on. There was less of that. In fact, when you go into the law, there are certain laws put in place for some outlandish behavior, but it wasn't too often that they would have to execute those penalties because people weren't doing that shit like that.
Special occasions.
Yeah, special occasions. But today, the special occasion of the ancient world would be the norm of this world. And that's why this is going to come back here again today.
Ezekiel 7:4. And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity.
Yeah, so the Lord said his eyes are not, his eyes ain't going to spare thee, right? And he ain't going to have pity. But why is the Lord not? Why is the Lord not going to have pity? Because you got a whole bunch of wickedness going on. And the thing is, you tell these people and they don't want to take heed. You got women dressed all provocative and promiscuous walking out about, cheeked up and all that shit. Knowing damn well. And it's funny, but it's true. you ain't supposed to be cheeked up because now here's the problem out here. You distracted men, right? Like, and what I mean is, if you go into a society where, like Harambe mentioned all the time, you go into the East, there's a reason. Why do you think in certain countries they have women dress a certain kind of way?
I think Dubai is one, right?
Yeah. Why do you think that is? And actually, when you look at those kind of countries, they have a lot of advanced, like, if you go over there to the Arab Emirates, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, like those those countries over there, they have some real advanced like technology over there, because they actually focus on inventing and building and doing things, and you say, well, but their women are oppressed. You find some of the happiest women over there than over here. So now you wonder, wait, hold on. You have all this liberty, all this freedom, and yet you're more depressed than this housewife. What's going on?
That's exactly what's happening right now. Right? These women got all these so-called liberties, right? They're being told, oh, you got abortion rights and all this shit, but yet they're depressed still. They ain't got no man. You got all these things going on for you, but no man want to be around you. What does that say about you women, number one, and about you and the society that we're living in? That you have all these qualities that are so-called great, but yet no man want to be with you. No man want to be around you, especially the so-called black woman. What's going on with that, man?
Shit.
That's the reality of the prophecies. You know what I mean? And it's about to take a turn for the worst time like never before in history. It's coming. All right. The left is already saying it. Oh, Trump is coming in. He's going to make things worse. He is. All right. He's ordained to do so. Right. We believe he's going to be the one to usher in the most bloodiest time in human history. All right. That's the time of Jacob's trouble. You got it, Aishar.
Yeah, I was just gonna add that really ain't shit gonna change in terms of policies and things like that. He's talking the talk, but Trump is not gonna come up there and say, all right, it's illegal to be a mo. He ain't gonna do that. So you women is over here bitching and complaining, and you still gonna be able to do the same wicked ass shit anyways. But really what we're witnessing is the death of feminism. Because feminism has had its time, and now Jacob's trouble is gonna be the nail in the coffin for all that shit. So now you're seeing the spirit of women empowerment. All that shit is being exposed because now these women are voicing their really, mental vomiting all over the place about how they really feel, and people are like, damn, these bitches are straight batshit crazy. We've always known it, but goddamn, now you see it with this whole election thing. One candidate getting in and over your candidate. It's supposed to be a democracy, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you on the losing side, they don't lose. They don't lose it with class. They lose and they act like big ass children, which we've always said that they are grown ass children. These women, and these moles that lost,
Yeah, bro.
I was just gonna add to what Aharon was saying, but just do one better. You gotta think about it. Like he said, if you have all these great qualities of a woman, well, okay, let's add the Heavenly Father. Why hasn't the Heavenly Father found you a man? If you're this great, God-fearing, amazing woman, you mean to tell me God hasn't found you a man yet? What's up with that? You mean to tell me out of all these men, you're just this great person, but yet you've been alone for 10 plus years, however long. You can't, anytime you get into a relationship or you talk to somebody, the Heavenly Father will just lead that great man towards your way. What's up with that? And then they'll always give you some BS excuse. Well, time and all. Well, how long, bitch? It's been 10 years now. You ain't getting any younger. You're only getting fatter. So how long it's going to take?
But they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because their minds are not wired that way. Anyway, you got it, bro.
says, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh.
See, and you're going to know that I am Yahweh because it's going to get to the point where people are not going to be able to throw it off as coincidence. Or, no, that happens. No. They're going to start to understand, no, there's a deliberate supernatural force that's causing these things to happen. Because now imagine the second you come against the man of the Lord, some horrible judgment comes upon you. Every single person, the second you come, you open your mouth to say you get struck by lightning. You start walking, you say spontaneous combustion. You're going to realize that's not coincidence. There's something going on over here. Same way those countries in the ancient world, the other nations realized that there was a special power around Israel, that whenever they try to mess with them, they're like, no, watch out, because you're going to get messed up. It's going to happen again in this time. That's why the Lord said, then shall they be known who are my chosen. In the past, it was as a nation. In this time, it's going to be by a remnant. That they're going to know, oh, there's the God of heaven, whoever he may be, he's definitely dealing with them. Because if everybody else, like Jonah, for example, how did they know that Jonah was the one who had done something? Because when they threw his ass off after he confessed, and he told them to throw him into the thing, but when they threw him over there, guess what? Everything stopped. And they were like, oh, so it was him. And whatever God he pissed off, we better, you know what I'm saying? We better make sure we try to appease him. So the Most High is going to let it be known in this time, very apparently, that, hey, these people right here, you don't touch them. And America has what they've done is, America's like Joe Biden, right, with them little infants, right? They walk behind you, they put their hand right in your face and they pull you back, right? They cover you and they pull you back. And that's what America has done to people. They've put a blindfold over their face and those earplugs over their ears, and they've blocked them from reality. A lot of Americans are out of tune with reality. When you speak like a normal person speaks, they think you're being too harsh because they're out of tune with reality. Did you have something, Haran?
Yeah, kind of. I was going to say that, you know, you're actually starting to hear that sentiment now in America. You know, some people, not all, some be like, things that are happening, they're like, man, God is not happy with this country and this direction is going in. I mean, look at these things that are happening. You're starting to hear that rhetoric. Now, soon it's going to be on a grand scale where it's going to be the theme. And like you said, everywhere you go, people will know that, oh, yeah, this is deliberate. Like, this is something that is happening on biblical scales. Like, this is the God of the Hebrews type judgment that's coming over here. You know? And we're going to say, yeah, you were warned.
That's right.
You know, there's a movie. Oh, damn. What's the name of the movie? There was a movie where there was this lady and she was going to, I think she was in like a coffee shop or something, or like some form of like cafe. And The Mist, I think it's The Mist. Yes, Khan. You know, and she came in and she says, she started screaming. She was like, the God of the Bible, the God of the Hebrews is angry at you, what you've done to his people, and some extra stuff that she said in there. And she said he's angry and he's gonna come and destroy this place. You know, and I think in a scene you see missiles dropping or something, like a whole complete destruction. You know, so that theme is prevalent, especially now. You know, especially Trump being president, that's going to pick up because Biden was so weak, he wasn't going to take us nowhere. You know, in terms of prophecy, this nigga was just out there just tripping and falling over stairs and shit. Like, dude, you know, Trump is that nigga. He's going to be the one to be. The Lord will use him to push certain buttons. You know, and things could really pick up even more. You know what I mean? Because now you got all these world leaders are like, oh, good thing Trump is here. You got these tech giant moguls all congratulating him. You know, oh, I'm looking forward to working with you type shit, kissing ass already. All right. But guess what? Little do they know, or little that most people know, that these tech giants are all colluding to come together to bring about the MOTB reality. Okay. Whether it's the technical or the technological terrorists, I call them, right? Headed by this clown ass dude called the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink. All right, he's the tech demon. All right, it starts with him, and then you got the biological demon. You got Kill Bates on there talking about Vanessa that's going mRNA people and all that, right? You got the psychological demon. What's his name? Klaus Schwab with the World Economic Forum, right? And then you got the third demon, which is the scientific demon. All right, the dataism demon. That's Harari. When you look at that board, they're all Edomites. All right. And underneath them, you got all these different corporations working together. But in the face of the people, it's like, oh, Elon Musk is promoting free speech. Oh, Nah. Behind the scenes, he's posting 666. He's posting a couple of Halloweens ago. He had this costume looking like a damn demon, man. Straight up demon, like Satan, straight up. Right? All these things, people are just like, oh, yeah, you know, it's just art. No, these are signs to look out for, man. All right. It's telling you the times that we're in. These are all things that leads to heavenly judgment. All right, judgment like never before. So that movie, yo, you got to check it out. The Mist, right? She says it outright. The God of the Hebrews. Okay, and we know what he's about. Exodus 15:3. Okay, he's a man of war. All right, so war is coming. What's next? You got it, bro.
That's it. And then Lord Woman, you know, we're just gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it unfold like a movie because we got the script. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 7:5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, an evil, and only evil, behold, is come.
Right. So the Lord's saying that because he's bringing it. And evil and only evil, a bad time. Okay? And only a bad time. Don't expect if you're not of the elect, don't expect any good. It's just bad. Right? Go ahead.
An end is come. The end is come.
The end is come. Go ahead.
It watcheth for thee Behold, it is come.
Yeah, so when we say like all hell's about to break loose, or Jacob's trouble is right around the corner, when it's watching for you, it's not gonna wait for you to meet it across the corner. It's gonna meet you across the corner. You know? So the second you go, Jacob's trouble gonna be right there waiting for you, watching for you. You know, like when we read in Isaiah 13, it mentions how pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. You know, you gotta imagine that. It's like when you get chills, you don't go and invite the chills or the goosebumps. It just suddenly comes upon you. When somebody gets spooked, you know, and they start getting all spooked up, that's because that fear grabs them and paralyzes them, like as if a demon wrapped himself around you and locked you in place. And that's how these plagues are gonna come upon people. They're gonna come like somebody sneaking up on you, like Benjamin out the bushes on the women of Shiloh. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna jump up and put you on that shoulder. You come with me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? They're taking your ass. You know, be up there, fight me. Anyway, I saw some. I didn't have that. Oh, you had it. Bring it up. There's gonna be a lot of activities going on. It's gonna be like living in a scary movie, and the amount of the things people are gonna witness, man, unspeakable things. Jacob's trouble is like a black box that you going, and if you're not the elect, a week in it is gonna mess up your whole head, man. There's gonna be some people that might physically not be touched, and just mentally they're gonna be so messed up. You know, like you have some people that get so terrified that they just drop in a corner somewhere and they just stop and they just repeat this one thing. You know,
Trauma,
out of fear.
traumatized.
They get traumatized watching their whole family die. You know, and all literally everything. And even worse is imagine like a so-called Christian who runs up in there, I got faith, calls on Jesus, and only bad things keep happening. Their brain is gonna be so melted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna come back to it anyway, but read it. Twice as nice.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand.
Yeah, howl for the day of the Lord is at hand. What does that tell you? It didn't say sing with the trumpets and all that. It says howl. Go ahead.
It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
From the Almighty. So the day of the Lord is gonna come to the earth as a destruction from the Almighty. So as we enter into that day or that time period, it's gonna be a time of destruction. Now, as Shalimar was saying before, in the ancient world, the Most High could bring famine by way of bringing that east wind that would then bring the locusts, and the locusts would come and destroy your crops. And if you don't got any crops, you're not harvesting anything. There's a problem there, right? Today, the Most High doesn't need to send locusts over here because then Esau could just spray some chemicals and kill them. So the Most High uses modern means, right, to bring about modern problems. So he may talk about a famine, but it may be a man-made orchestrated famine. Either way, the Lord is bringing a famine to come to pass. It's called like abstraction, right? How it actually happens doesn't matter. The fact that you can get it done is what matters. When you have a car, some cars are designed differently, but the fact that you get in there, you press the button, it comes on, you hit the gas, it drives, that's all that matters, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say something real quick just to add to the point that, like you were mentioning about a famine. Well, people could also cause famine as well, because famine is basically just a lack of food and water. So if everybody just buys up everything there and stocks it in the house, when you try to go to the storehouses and things like that, it's not going to be there. It's not to say that there's no food. It's just that the people have caused the famine as well because of what? They storing up everything. They bought everything. Like when, I forgot, what was it? There was like the situation like the gas, when people tried to hoard up gas and all that. And then there was another situation with all the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Just a chaos, something. And it wasn't even something crazy. It was something little that happened and people just start buying a whole bunch of toilet paper. Now, when you go to, like, where the hell is toilet paper at? Why? Because everybody bought all the toilet paper. So even people, the Lord can put the spirit on people to cause the famine as well.
Yeah, and it shows you how people are such followers. They have that follower syndrome, right? How the hell was toilet paper and hand sanitizer going to protect you from the TB?
That's
But just because people were getting it, they thought, I need to get some toilet paper and hand sanitizer. For what? Okay, like you said, right? Why do you have all of this? Bro, you didn't hear about the whole thing that's going on? So how the hell is toilet paper and hand sanitizer, what is that going to do for you against a respiratory, disease or something like that? Bro, here you go with the conspiracy stuff again, bro. What? But that's these people. When you actually ask them the why are you doing what you're doing? I mean, why not? That's the mindset. If somebody else is doing it, there must be a reason why they're doing it. I got to do it too. But then again, I think Apostle Hart mentioned this. You could be on a plane, and literally the pilot could announce on the plane is going to crash. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you, and then hang up the thing, right? And then you can look outside and see the pilot jump out with a parachute, and then everybody's sitting there knowing damn well there's nobody operating the plane right now, and they're still going to be sitting there. Maybe they'll start whispering, whoa, is it a joke? Is he pranking? Like, why did he just say, until somebody gets up and says, oh shit, the plane is crashing, I gotta go. Until one person gets up, that's what, hey, let me get that shit. Hey, you know what I'm saying? People jumping up, trying, grabbing on carry-ons, like what they gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? They reaching for the mask and shit. That's when the panic sets in. But you mean to tell me if nobody gets up, they just sit there, until it dawns on somebody to say, yo, the pilot just said the plane is gonna crash. And he just jumped out with the only parachute we got on. So we want to do something. That's what everybody's gonna get up. So that's how that's sheep. That's literally how sheep operate. If one starts to go, they all start to go. If none go, none of them go. And we've seen it. So that's how these people's minds have been conditioned. And that's why whenever there's a trend, everybody jumps on it. There's a movement, everybody jumps on it. People are buying toilet paper. Why? We don't know, but we're doing it. Here's a good example, and they've done pranks with this. If you're just there and you just see like 3 or 4 people just running full speed in one direction, you're going to see the whole neighborhood following soon after. Somebody could be going this way, and the second they see what, they're gone. Why? And literally in the pranks, they run and they say, yo, why are we running? And these people are like, I don't know, y'all just started running, so I know. I thought that there was something. No, we good.
Especially Jay.
Yeah, especially
People
Jay.
running. Nah, fuck that. I'm out. Either might will probably go towards the door. What's going on here?
Yeah, with their flashlight and baseball bat and shit.
Fucking these guys.
Yeah. But once again, that's the mindset. So this is why, oh my gosh, this is why literally Americans are the least prepared for Jacob's trouble. They have no sense of actual common sense. Look, just put a scenario before somebody like this and say, yo, so if this was to happen, like realistically, what would you do? What are some of the first things you would try to do? I don't know. Probably find something, you know what I'm saying? And that's these people. And literally, they're not even lying to you. A lot of them don't know. They'll just be there in a situation, in a dire situation. The house is burning and they're sitting in there because nobody told them to go yet. That's what happens when these people get brainwashed. You go when we say you go. And if we don't say you go, you don't go. If all hell is breaking loose and we ain't showing it on the TV, nothing is happening. And if nothing is happening, but we say something is happening on the TV, something is happening. That's how they've conditioned people to think. When these heathens come from different countries over here, they actually wonder what's wrong with people over here. When they go home and they have them little conversations with their family, they're like, yo, these people are so weird. When you first come to the country, there's a weirdness about people. You're like, yo, people are so weird over here. Like, they don't socialize with each other. You say hello to somebody and they look at you all weird and shit. Like, what the hell is this guy just said hello to me? Like, do I know you? Like, what the? And then they keep on going. And they're like robots. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can literally be like this and walk into a tree. Boom. Then they look around, step to the side and keep on going like that. Literally like robots. There's something going on over here, and it's not right. Anyway, where we at? All right. Did we finish on that verse? All right. So let's jump back over here. We'll come back to Isaiah 13.
To bring our Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense.
And who's that? That's the Most High. To the Most High belongs vengeance and recompense. Go ahead.
Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand.
Got it.
And the things that shall come upon them make haste. So this is what we're witnessing right now. The things that's coming is making haste now. Some might think that, oh, Trump is in there. Well, that means that, the end is prolonged because they see they feel that peace and safety. But that's all according to biblical prophecy. The Most High put the man in there that he's going to use and set everything set for him to bring that in, right? Just like we saw in the Civil War movie. It was the liberals that were going against the power that was at the White House. They had the TG flag behind them and all that.
Yeah.
You have women right now, they calling for DJT to be taken out. Literally, like, y'all know that the feds are watching you, stupid dummies.
Yep.
Talking about, well, somebody, I hope the assassin is out there. Please don't miss. You bitches are dumb.
Straight up.
Because when he gets into power, they're going to come for all of you.
Yeah.
You think this shit is all recorded, and now this shit is going viral. All the podcasts don't look at what these look. They don't even say nothing. It's just a compilation of you bitches bugging out. They don't even say nothing. It speaks for itself. You see? But that's because the time of the Lord's judgment is making haste, man. The time of the Lord's judgment is making haste. We're witnessing the death of feminism. We're witnessing the end of this kingdom, because it's a queendom at the end of the day. So with all these things comes the end. You see? So the Lord, if I may, again, it says Deuteronomy 32 and 35, to me belongeth vengeance and recompense, their foot shall slide in due time. Right, so they're going to slip and fall. And Jeremiah says the most proud will stumble and fall. So now the Lord is saying, all right, boom, red wave. What does red represent? Edom. You see? So now it's like, all right, the true nature of Edom, bring it out. You know, they're going to, and now they blame, a lot of it was the blame on so-called blacks and Latinos. See, they're going to flip it on us. Well, everybody's going to blame us. The conservatives are going to, even though the niggas voted, they're going to blame you anyways, right? When shit goes wrong.
Right.
And now Eve is blaming you,
Yep.
but she was always waiting for her opportunity. And now everybody is like, black and Latinos are at the center of it all. Once again, they ain't talking about the Moabite, the Chinese, the Japanese. Oh, they're talking about so-called black and Latino. Why are we the obsession? It always comes back to us because we built this country in reality. But again, their foot shall slide in due time. So now the true pride of Edom is being brought forth. And what's going to happen is the Lord is going to elevate their pride, harden Pharaoh's heart, whether it be Trump or whoever it is. It really doesn't matter. It's the spirit behind it. And the everyday Edomite, his look is more stout than his fellows. Their pride is going to get to this astronomical level. Elon Musk, look what we're doing. You see, we're doing more than Russia, China, all these people. And then the Lord is going to take them right down from there, man. So if anything, this is an indication, the fact that America seems to be on the verge of a golden age, so-called, but yet all of these underlying problems are still there. It's like a movie. One thing, you see one thing playing out, but the main characters, the protagonists, they know that something else is about to pop. So everybody, the crowds and the masses of people, they're all enthralled by it. You know, they're wondering after the beast still. They're into it. But yet the prophets know, Lord's will we be those men. The prophets know, you out there that are in the light, in the truth, you know that this is their end. Regardless of what happens, regardless of how they're politically playing it out, this is the end because all the signs are there. See? The de-dollarization, the BRICS, all the nations coming against America. Okay, which that's a long process anyways, but it doesn't take much for it to really go to the next level. You have cryptos and all that. So the setup is right there for the device, the MOTB, to be implemented, regardless of what they're talking right now. These are all politicians at the end of the day. And the fact that all these Babylonians are putting their trust in one man, it's like a perfect setup for them to be humbled once again. And the Lord is taking two birds with one stone, because he defeated the nigger woman. Now she's down and out. You know, she's hurt, depressed, the moles, everybody that was under that woke vibration, they're fucked up. And now he's elevating the pride of the right wingers, but then he's just going to smash them even worse. And then they're all going to go down at the same time. And guess who's going to come out shining on top? The Lord's man.
Yep. Hey, at the end of the day, man, guess what? So imagine, hypothetically, right? Imagine Trump gets up in there and he starts making things better again, actually, right? He starts fixing the economy. He starts lowering taxes. He starts, doing all this extra stuff. And all these people that started spazzing, going crazy, losing their mind, like, I can't believe this happened, are now benefiting from that. I'm curious to see what is their demeanor going to be like, And also vice versa. If Kamala did get up in there, because it's a repeat of what happened with Biden. We got to get Biden up in there. Biden got up in there, fucked up situation going on in Afghanistan. Number one, botch number one. And then his real terror began. Then the same people who put him in there are now cursing him out. Oh, this guy's through. We need him out of here. So and that's why majority of people this time said we're not gonna fall for it. Not we, because we didn't care, but majority of these people, they said they're not gonna fall for it because they said, hold on a second. We listened to y'all last 4 years ago and put Biden up in there, and then look at the shit he did. And now his vice president, you want to put her back up in there? I think it's a lost your minds. So point is, as all this is going on, it could be that Trump could be trying to fix the country and all of that, but guess what? That would be the perfect time for a black swan or some unexpected, actual catastrophic disaster to break that whole thing down, because people will start to buy into it. Oh yeah, he may actually be fixing it. Hey, look, he's getting this done, he's getting that done. One thing I'm interested to see is how they're gonna get what operations are gonna be used to do what he says about getting the illegal migrants out of here. Because that's definitely gonna be a fight. I mean, when they talk about illegal immigrants and all that, the focus isn't really on like the pregnant mom and her daughter and stuff. No. It's on the gangs. You know what I'm saying? The dudes who are stealing, running up in these complexes and taking stuff over.
Yeah, and that's when you're gonna start seeing things like Rex 84, those kind of plans take effect, because remember, these are regardless of who the president is, these are executive orders. And during the time where he's going to exact those executive orders to deport these so-called migrants, it's all going to be done under FEMA executive orders. Okay, that's basically martial law. All right, where there's the lawlessness. Oh, these people that were brought in here by the Democrats, Venezuela gangs, and all these different things. They had a cue, as in, okay, once this happens, get into action mode. So Trump is going to have to combat that. And how is he going to combat that? He's going to combat that with the executive orders that's already been set prior to him being so-called president, even back for 2016. Okay, before Obama's time, going back to Reagan. Okay, they've had these so-called executive orders lined up for the time that we're entering into. And specifically, when you read about Rex 84, it says this is created in the stead of, or maybe in a case where a whole bunch of migrants were to come through the southern border, right? So exactly what you've seen over the past couple of years, right, is exactly the premise for Rex 84. And when you dig deeper into Rex 84 and what it's all about, it's pretty much it's an excuse for the government to round up American citizens that go against their agenda. Okay, and the agenda that's about to be put out there is going to be the ones of the WHO that, right? It's going to be the ones of the World Economic Forum, all right, the UN. Okay, when they talk about this whole global one pact, whatever shit, right? It's all the unification of all people. Going back to Revelation 13 and 16, he calls us all. You see? So when that time becomes what the reality, people are going to push back. And when you push back, this is what they got ready for you. So they set the stage now so they could round everyone out, because what is leading to what? Digital ID. That's all it's leading to. Okay, and with the digital ID comes a digital form of payment. Okay, radio frequency identification. That's that digital ID. It could start off with a small little card, but how long is it going to take before they say, nah, you know what? This digital shit, it has to be actually implanted in you. Okay, because all the companies, this is what they're doing. Okay, and Ashar mentioned how the whole world is wandering after the beast. Look what's going on. These other countries, you got Africa, you got freaking Nigeria, Kenya, all these different countries. All of a sudden, they're engaging in the technology for digital ID, digital banking. Look at Australia. Okay, they're damn near almost cashless at this point. Okay, so everyone is dealing on a digital form of life. And with that comes that deception, that receiveth, that charagma. That's your so-called ticket into this digital world, so to speak. And without that, you can't function in this new digital world. That's where we're leading to. And anyone who cannot be identified, because Trump is going to come in with that heat. Anyone who can't be identified digitally in the system, data and AI and all this, guess what? To them, you're a terrorist. All right, the FBI already came out and put FBI and DOD already came out and put Americans. 90% of Americans are known as domestic T's. That's a plot. They're telling you, we coming for everyone, man. All this online speech. Oh, Trump, Elon Musk comes in and he makes Twitter open, so now everyone can say everything. Oh, like you said, these dumb bitches putting out all this stupid shit, and it seems like nothing is happening to them, but that's all being documented. Okay, something known as tag, trace, and identify (TTID). So they're documenting all these things. When the day comes, they're gonna raid people's homes. They're gonna grab people up. You women gonna get shot in the head. All right, you're gonna get kicked in the face. You're gonna be grabbed up. You're gonna be graped up, right? Because a lot of these Venezuela gangs, they're gonna give them the ammunition to go out there and wreak havoc. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna be going to their communities wilding out. You know, they're gonna have their MS-13 dudes ready to do their sacrifices, right? Where's the sacrifice at? You women, and you disobedient ass kids. You gonna be them sacrifices, man. You men who are effeminized, you gonna be the sacrifices, man. All right, they coming for all you niggas. The military gonna come in. UN troops gonna be joining. It's about to get crazy very soon. And we're at that time, man. We are at that time. All right, and it's gonna happen suddenly. You know, that's what makes it even sweeter to watch people get caught off guard like that. All these, you talk big, but then when the shit happens, you the smallest. Nobody can hear you. Nobody can see you no more. No. Now it's time to be a big, strong, independent woman. Go up there and face the element. You know, take us home. Since you want to lead so bad, you know, Kamala should be the first woman president. No, you step in and you be the first leader. Let's go. Let's get it done. You can steer the country the right way. It starts with you women. So we want to see when the time comes. Stand up and go fight against them Venezuela gangs and them troops when they start storming your house. Don't beg. Don't be like Sonia Massey grabbing up water and trying to. No, don't do that. You gotta find a way to get it done. Like Kamala, we've got a lot done, and we're talking about things that we haven't gotten done that need to get done. That's her shit. You got it, bro.
You are unburdened by what has been. Somebody needs to go tell her that. You got to be unburdened by what has been, right? You know, but that's a good point. You know, and them badass kids too, man. They also gonna get the work. The scriptures talk about that in Ezekiel 9. You know, that even kids are gonna get that judgment coming to them. You know, they're not exempt. You got some badass, rebellious ass gremlins out here. You know, little young teenagers running around doing all this, man. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know what I'm saying? Lord about to whoop their asses too. Because a lot of them are straight demons. You know, like you gotta imagine if you had like a scouter to read demonic energy, you'd be seeing a lot coming from them kids. Because you have two good parents, right? And then they have a good child, and somewhere along the lines that child gets tainted. Now you got a half bad child, and then they have a kid, which now becomes a 75% bad kid, and then they're both of their parents are 75% bad. Then the point is, as time goes on, these kids get worse and worse and worse because their parents got were worse, and now you got full-bred demons. That it's not that okay, they got good parents and they're just not listening to their parents. No, a lot of these kids are listening to their parents, and their parents are telling them to be demons, and so they're going ahead and you got women telling their daughters to be hoes. No, you got to go out there and you got to be a hoe. You have to be a slut. If you're not a slut, you're not my daughter. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out there and enjoy. And that's what they call it. Enjoy your youth. You know, you're only gonna get to be young once. You know, don't waste it on no one man and what. You know, but guess what? All that has a consequence. All that there's gonna be a price to pay for all that. Like Haran was going into. You know, so when they start coming out here making sacrifices out of you, because it's really gonna be the spirit of the Lord. You know, then there shouldn't be any crying and complaining. You know, we're gonna be, hey, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Show us what you got. You know, you got you know what I'm saying? You the ones who are, that my ancestors gonna get you. I'm gonna run into you with an 18-wheeler. You know, you just wait till I find you. Go on ahead. There's a Trump supporter right there. Go. Let them redneck Edomites come in here with their guns. And then call them ladies and look, them were some Trump supporters. Go out there, go run them over with your 18-wheelers. And let's see what you're doing. Then they tell you, no, don't say that. Don't say that too loud. No, they're right there. Go ahead and do what you're gonna do. They're not. You know? Anyway, what we got? Oh, we had that Rex 84, right? Cool. So it's a good point that you mentioned Rex 84, Haran, because you know you may have some people listening and they'll say, "Oh, you're just lumping in the part about these migrants coming up in here just because that's what's going on here." No, that's actually written up in there, and I want you to listen very, very carefully to what the brother's about to read because we didn't write that. This is the open information. Just go and type in Rex 84, Readiness Exercise 1984, and you will see this is literally documented on the records, the things that we're telling you. Where do you think we learned about these things? You think we just made it up? A brother one day just got up and said Rex 84 would be a good thing to use. Project Cypher, Garden Plot. No, we got to do it. We're not the ones coming up with these things. So go ahead, bro.
This is Rex 84 from Wikipedia. It says Rex 84B, short for Readiness Exercise 1984 Bravo, was a classified scenario and drill developed by the United States federal
You
government
hear that? It didn't say by the Hebrew Israelites. It says by the United States federal government. Right? Go ahead.
to detain large numbers
To do what now? To detain large numbers. So when we tell you they're gonna come up into your places and they're gonna start grabbing you up, oh, you guys are always saying that. They're here to detain. What are they detaining?
large numbers of United States residents
Of United States residents. Go ahead.
deemed to be national security threats.
National security threats. Somebody got to go assassinate this guy. Somebody go get him. Oh, please go. Oh, yeah. Your name is on the list. You know what I'm saying? So when they come into your house at 4 a.m. and you just see lights and yelling at you and lasers on your chest and they tell you shut your ass up and get in that truck, guess where you going? You're going to get in that truck and you're going to see Sally over there who was doing TikTok videos with you. Oh, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? You know? They're going to come for you. It sounds like it's a joke now, but in reality, you're going to wonder, yo, like, it was just a joke. Like, how the hell am I in cuffs in the back of a truck somewhere? Is this real? Oh, it's real.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay, go ahead. And then
Rocky, brother. One quick thing. This just came out. I don't know. I'm not sure if you brothers heard about this, but the FBI basically mentioned that there was text messages going out to a lot of so-called blacks about somebody texted them, said, "Listen, you're gonna go back into slavery. We got the plantation set up. We're gonna pick you up in a white van."
Yeah.
And really, they're saying that, oh yeah, it's it's like some fringe people, but Esau's gonna do that to you people. That's the thing. Esau's gonna set it up. You see, so they're saying, oh yeah, well, we don't know, this was just a hoax, blah blah blah. But really, and why did it go straight to the news?
Right.
Because anything that goes on the news, there's something else going on there. Because really, this is what they're going to do. You see, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, man. So you better get into the strong tower in the name of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, right about now, man.
Yep.
All right, ASAP, and quick and in a hurry.
Yep. Yeah, because it ain't gonna be just the troops that you got to worry about. It's not always just the troops. You're gonna have, like you said, some of them triple Ks. The triple K white hats, they're gonna be coming around. Gangs, they're gonna become. 2nd Ezra 15 tells you that. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, you set it up perfectly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. That a lot of these chicks, you're gonna get grabbed up, and they're not gonna necessarily just take you out because you're too dumb anyway. They just gotta re-indoctrinate you, and you'll be alright. You're not really beneficial besides just sex, right? So remember, these devils got underground bunkers and shit. They said they got underground bunkers. That's like cities. Like they got cities underground. All right. And a lot of you chicks, they're gonna be grabbing you. They're gonna be sending you down there because they still gotta get their shit off. Right, they got to do their so-called sexual trafficking, magicking, whatever, sacrifices and all that shit. Because hey, they see the kingdom going down, they're gonna be pushing heavy for Satan. Like, yo, come on, help us! Like, yo, these Hebrews are winning. Like, what we gonna do? Like, this shit is crazy. Our agenda is not pushing. What's that? Job the 20th chapter, right? When he's about to fill his belly, so they're gonna be down there feeding the beast. And they're gonna be using a lot of you chicks, a lot of you so-called pretty girls, OnlyFans girls, all that. All your information is documented. All right. All your information, all your OnlyFans videos, your pictures, they tap into your phones. They have all your information. Everything you do, they don't even gotta look for it. Bitches be put that shit up. They put it up. She put her location where she's at. You be like, man, shit, bro. You can really click on it and be like, oh, she was over here. Bitches who take a picture and then her location is on. You click on it, pop, oh, okay, she was around here. I know this place. Oh, see, I'm gonna go see her. Next thing you know, boom. If a regular person could do it, right? Watch this guy Joe Goldberg. If a regular person could do it, how much more these sophisticated ass people with all kinds of technology that watches you 24/7?
Yeah.
Listen to everything you say, wherever you gonna go, they have it all on record. So a lot of these, you're gonna hear a lot of kidnappings coming up very soon. All right, these chicks out, they're gonna get grabbed up. That's why they send you up. Now you don't need a man. So most of you gonna be alone anyway. You're gonna be victims. They're gonna come grab you up. You know what I'm saying? Shackle you up nicely. And you be nowhere to be found. You live by yourself now. You're miserable. You're going to work every day. You know what I'm saying? You come home and you by yourself. Your friends are doing the same thing you're doing. It's not like how things used to be where everyone was grouped up, everyone was chilling. Everyone is so stressed out with life now that all you do is work and you by yourself now. See? So that's easy. If you don't got a man that you could access immediately, especially a man of the Lord, you're going to be out there by yourself. And no man is going to feel bad for you when these niggas come around. Why? Pick her up. Boom. Next morning, somebody call. Yo, where's that girl? I haven't seen her in like a week. And nowhere, no one knows what happened to her. And then next thing you know, yo, I've been hearing that, yo, girl's been going missing. Next thing you know is the whole thing. Girls going missing. Where they at? They're sending them underground. They're gonna be sex robots. They're gonna be banging you like you sex robot, right? You're gonna be rituals, right? All the things that we mentioned is all gonna happen. You know, that's all part of the times of trouble. And who's gonna be the main target? You so-called Jake women. All right, because you have a certain spirit, something different that these devils are craving for. All right, when you watch the movie Get Out, that kind of bullshit, that kind of weirdo fantasy that they have for Jake, and now it's time because hey, lawlessness is upon the face of the earth. All hell is breaking loose. They're gonna take advantage of that. So yeah, man, that's another thing that you women got to think about. You know, all this I don't need a man shit. Well, soon you're gonna have to have a man around you. You know, who's gonna be able to guide you, especially in the times that we're coming in. Somebody who's gonna be there for you. You don't got that shit. I got a quick precept and I'm gonna pass it. Here's a book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 72. It says, actually start off at verse 71. It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none." Right, going back to Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. Right, they're gonna be coming out here as killing instruments, and whoever they're gonna grab up, you're gonna be for a certain specific mission. All right. It says, "But still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Right, that's all. What? You being arrested? Okay, you being grabbed up, kidnapped. Okay, for a different purpose that you have no idea. You just gonna wake up and you in a different location where you're like, yo, you want to talk about a Diddy party where they drug you and then you wake up and your backside is in pain? Nah, it's gonna be you. You just hey, you got that Diddy off. Nah, ain't go, yo. They gonna go high level with the satanic witchcraft, man. You're gonna see Michelle Lemmy gonna be there waiting for you. You're gonna have Marina Abramovich sitting there waiting for you. You're gonna have whoever the reincarnation of Aleister Crowley, the top dude, he gonna sit there waiting for you. Talk about he called himself the Beast. He gonna be sitting there waiting for you. He's gonna be sitting there chilling with them oils ready. You know, hey, it's gonna be hey, you women, man. Hey, it's coming. All right, it's coming. That's all part of the troubles. All right, get ready.
Yeah, you see him wiggle his head like that, you better run out that room. All right, go ahead.
So I'll read again. I'll read from top. Lex 84B short from Readiness Exercise 1984 Bravo was a classified scenario and drill developed by the United States federal government to detain large numbers of United States residents.
Now, it was a drill that they developed to detain large numbers of United States residents, right? This is a drill. Like, for example, you have fire drills, right? Why do you have fire drills? You know, when you're in school and every 2 seconds there's a fire drill, fire. Why do they do fire drills? So when there's a fire, you know what to do. They don't do water drills. You don't ever see them, hey, everybody, today we're going to put life vests on in the case a tsunami hits. Because they're not anticipating that. But a fire is a very real scenario that they're prepared for. So this exercise is them doing this out of preparation for when the time comes that they need to do this. Because if they didn't expect this to happen, they wouldn't have executive orders on it. Go ahead.
Residents deemed to be national security threats.
Residents deemed to be national security threats. Yes. Go ahead.
In the event that the president declared a national emergency.
So in the event that the president declared a national emergency, go ahead.
The scenario envisioned state defense forces rounding up 500,000 undocumented Central American residents.
Hold up. Way up. So the state would be rounding up undocumented, right? What was that? Undocumented what now?
It says state defense forces rounding up 500,000 undocumented Central American residents.
So the migrants, the term they use, the migrants, okay? Because a lot of them are coming from South and Central America, though you have some from around the world, they're coming through these areas. They're undocumented. What has Trump been saying this whole time? We're going to find all of them. We're going to round them up. We're going to get it. How's he going to do it? Coincidentally, there happens to be a drill that just so closely mirrors the same situation in which a president would declare a national emergency, and then the drill envisions the state defenses rounding up these undocumented Central American
Residents,
residents who are in the country, and now everybody knows. So, is it by coincidence now that Biden opened up that border and let everybody in there? People still don't know his reason for it. Go ahead.
and 4,000 American citizens whom the U.S. Attorney General had designated as national security threats.
So the AG designates U.S. citizens as threats, and they would be rounded up too. Now, okay, all right, they will be rounded up. Now, let's see what else happens. Because when they get rounded up, then what? Right? Do they just take you to like the somebody's barn somewhere? You know, like back at the barnyard? No. Let's see what happens when they round you up, and let's see who's involved in this rounding up. Right?
So it says, again, national security threats as part of the secret continuity of government program.
Secret continuity of government program. Go ahead.
These people will be detained at 22 military bases and concentration camps run by the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
That stands for FEMA. FEMA. The same FEMA you think comes to emergencies, and oh yeah, they're here to provide support. FEMA is going to be running 22 military bases that are going to be used for what? Concentration camps. Wait, did we put that in there? No, that's documented right there. They're going to round up people and send them to concentration camps. Oh, it doesn't get any clearer than that. Did we make that up? No. Go and read it for yourself. Go look up what is Rex 84 and why did they come up with that? So your own government has plans for if the president declares a national emergency in this scenario that you have undocumented Central American residents. They're going to round them up. They're also going to round up U.S. Citizens and residents. They're going to take them to military bases across the country, used as concentration camps, orchestrated by FEMA. Wow, this is a conspiracy theory, Ark. Go ahead.
I was also gonna add that there was that movie, The Great State, that didn't even come out. But basically, in the trailer for the movie and what they showed, it was everybody getting that device, all right, that implantable, and pretty much martial law. And what you see right now, just like the brothers going into Rex 84, they're using the Northern Kingdom to be the impetus, you know, the leverage point of this is we're gonna focus. And now all of these people, these Edomites, they're gonna go ballistic. It don't matter if they know if you're a citizen or not. You look like that, they're gonna wild out, man. Just like that Purge movie. Yep. They put it in a bunch of movies. Yep. Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, imagine if there's a couple more assassination attempts on the president and they come out and say, okay, we have a serious issue now with this type of attempts. We need to find out who it is that's trying to attempt to, you know, attack the president, things like that. And like you were saying that especially a lot of women have come out and expressed their feelings for Trump being president. And even if you didn't say that he needed to get assassinated or anything like that, you just being on TikTok, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media, you just, like you say, want to express yourself, talk, and whatever. You expressing your emotions and feelings on YouTube, whatever it may be, is enough for them, because there's a saying, the internet is forever. They now have that information of you, whether you said the president should be assassinated or whether you're just saying, like some women were going, no, Trump's back. All that they have on record. So now if something happens to him, they can sit there and come and get you in this type of scenario and say, listen, we have videotape of you expressing your disliking of the president. Did you have anything to do with this? Did you know? And you're like, no, and some people may even say, or women may say, oh, no, I have nothing to do. I didn't dislike Trump. They play the video. Is that not you right there, Miss Johnson, saying that? That's why they're saying the internet is forever. Whatever you put up there is now, like the brother was saying, documented. And especially even for us, like all the videos we do, all that's documented. They probably have some videos saved up where they can use it and try to turn it. Maybe we say, make us say something that we didn't say. Everything is documented. So even for you common people, it's not, for lack of a better word, it's not good for you to be stupid and just want to say everything and just exert your feelings, especially women out there on the internet. because it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. The scenarios we're talking about is very serious. Like the brother was going into Aharon with Jacob's trouble, them snatching up women and things like that. All that's seriously gonna happen. And a lot of you women have what? Put your bodies out there on the internet and things like that. You showing you how naked you are. You showing your good body. Because like, let's be honest, we know how women are. Our women do have nice bodies and things like that, curvaceous. So a lot of these guys, whoever they may be, military guys and all that type of stuff, they're gonna see that and they have pictures of you and everything. And when the time comes, they're like, oh, I like this one. I'm gonna go after. I already have an address and everything. Or they may be, you know, they may set them to go station at certain or go in certain place. Hey, you go over here, you go over here. Oh, damn, I'm going in that area? Oh, my girl's over there. I'm going to go get that now. Guess what? Now they're coming after you. But what? But hey, you want your body, your choice, right? You want to show your body out there on the internet? Well, okay. Well, there's a military guy that likes what he sees. I likes you and I want you. And we're going to do this the hard way. He's going to come for you. That's what it is. You see this whole trying to, you know, follow the serpent and follow the ways of this world. It's not going to work out for you. It's going to work out in your on your destruction. A lot of these men, like the brothers were saying, is gonna take you over. And what? A lot of women put that out there on the internet. Salakia for being put that out there on the internet. Oh, you know, I just want a man to destroy me, a man to do all this type of shit. Well, guess what, baby girl? You won't get your fucking wish. He gonna destroy that fucking app. Don't you worry. You gonna get exactly what you want. Because that whole, oh, I'm into this, I'm a freak. Don't worry, you got a freaky ass nigga somewhere waiting for you. Yeah, wait, I'm sucky. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's serious. It's some dude that's crazy into that. Going up the backside, all that type of stuff. You hear about the stuff they do in Hollywood, all the eating shit, the pit. He gonna do all that type of stuff to you. You talk about how freaky you are, guess what? You gonna get to show it out. And you better show out because he might be like, listen, you were saying all that stuff. You better show out, bitch.
Don't knock the Sonic rings out your bitch.
Mario coins. All right, go ahead. There's a little bit more on that. Where to hit on that.
So this goes into the background. It says the existence of master military contingency plan, of which Rex 84 was a part, Operation Garden Plot, and a similar earlier exercise, Lantern Spike, were originally revealed by journalist Ron Rittenauer, hopefully I'm saying that right, who summarized his findings in a 1975 article in Counter Spy magazine. Starting in 1981, the DOD and FEMA,
the DOD, Department of Defense, right? In 1981, the Department of Defense and FEMA, go ahead,
began a tradition of biannual joint exercises.
Biannual, right? So I think it's twice a year or so. Go ahead.
Joint exercises to test civil mobilization using names Proud Saber and Rex 82.
Rex 82 and Proud Saber, and they would use these to test civil mobilization. Go ahead.
In 1984, the scenario involved a U.S. Army rehearsal of airlifting the entire 82nd Airborne Division, 15,000 troops from Fort Bragg in North Carolina.
So they got troops. What do you think the bases are for? They got troops. Okay. So when they airlifted them, where are you taking them?
From Fort Bragg in North Carolina, under the cover of night, and flying them to either El Salvador or Nicaragua as a simulated invasion to enforce a state of martial law.
It's to enforce a state of martial law. So if in their exercise they did it over there, what do you think? Because why do they need to go over there if the people that are over there are already over here, causing the problems over here? So using the cover of the night, you wake up one night and just helicopters, and all of a sudden there's these troops coming down off that little rope, sliding down, and they fill up the stairwell. That's usually how it goes. They go up the stairs. They don't take no elevator. They fill up all the stairs. And the second you step out that hallway, this side is full, that side is full, and they all just got their guns, ready. And you're wondering, yo, I'm just like a 17-year-old girl. Why is there like U.S. troops in the hallways with guns pointed at me? Because I posted a TikTok video? Yeah, because you posted a TikTok video. So you'll see just how seriously they take these things when you find yourself in that situation. And you'll wonder, it was just a harmless video. That's not how it works. Because on the books, on the records, the things that they have the ability to do under these conditions, they don't take into account how long the video was, were you laughing or giggling. It's a state of emergency, and we're the ones in power. What judge are you going before? Sweetheart, I am your judge. You know what I'm saying? Get in the control. You know?
And Trump said that.
Yep.
Trump said that he was going
That was
to.
we good.
Trump said that he was going to go to because they in the Rex 84. He just mentioned that they dropped troops from a fort in the U.S. to El Salvador, and Trump just said he's going to go after the cartels crazy. So you see the perfect sentiment of that playing out, because they said that they were going to drop them in El Salvador, and Trump just said he's going to go crazy on the cartels.
Yep.
So they're not talking about, oh, in the U.S. only. They're talking about they're going to bring the war to the forefront. But really, what is the main purpose? Because we know Esau's the main one who's moving drugs. The main purpose is to set up martial law, even in those other countries, as well as in that.
Another thing too, that we're gonna see happen very soon is that's when you're gonna see Trump actually start making his turn against Americans. It's gonna be people starting to voice their disdain to what's going on in Israel, right? Because a lot of things that's going to start playing out now, Israel is going to be a center point, right? Because this is all leading to World War III, all right? And scriptures tell you, Jeremiah says that the least of the flock shall draw them out, right? So it's being done on all sides, and a lot of people are starting to be privy to the influence of so-called Israel, the Zionist state, or whatever the case may be. Now, Trump has already been said that, look, we're not coming to power. We're going to punish. He said they probably he said they're going to use the death penalty on people who use anti-Semitic speech. So for him, they're going to prosecute and persecute those who they deem to be engaging in anti-Semitism. All right. And the number one thing that will be their catalyst, as is written in 2nd Ezra, they're going to come against those that fear the Lord, is going to be the Bible. Okay. Oh, they're using the Bible as a weapon of hate, to push hate, have such a huge online presence, and this is what they're doing with it. We need to do something about that. So yeah, a lot of us, they're going to storm our houses and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? When the time comes, because part of their plan is they're going to do away with all the people who may have some type of influence on the people. So those are the first batch of crops that they're going to come after. You see what I'm saying? The men who have influence, power, they know where we live at. They're going to be coming in first. Boom, you and your families. See, that's where faith kicks in, right? Scriptures tell you, let me get that real quick and I'm going to pass it. There's a book of Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. All right. So as we gave you, Bakar gave the example of how they storm your apartments, wherever you at, they're on the stairs, they're on the left side of the door, the right side of the door, in front of the door, on top of the building, they're everywhere. Right. And some of them outside. You'd be like, God dang, there's no escape. You see? And then they storm in like a flood, they jump on you, and then they take you away. They grab you up and they take you away. So that's how it's going to be. But in that time, the scripture says the Lord's going to lift up his standard. So some of us will be blessed with spiritual power on the spot. Even before they make it in, it might be a weird night. You might be laying there and the spirit just tells you, get up and just take a drive. Just a strong urge to just drive to go to a CVS to go buy something that you forgot. It's like, damn, it's 2 a.m. Let me take the time to see if they're actually open. And there's one that's 30 minutes away and it's open. Let me go quick. You hop in your car, you go. Next thing you know, you driving, you see a whole lot of trucks going towards your address. You're like, what the fuck? Good thing I just left my house, because damn, they would have got me. That's how the Lord could give you. He could give you those heads ups, like, yo, weird things that you're going to be doing, but it's not going to be your control. That's the Lord using spirits to what? To guide you. Some of us going to have spiritual power outright, because when you go to our word standard, it talks about being able to disappear, right? Being able to have some type of supernatural strength, right? All these things the Lord going to give us, man. See, that's all part of being the servants of the Lord. He's going to turn us from fishers to hunters. Now we got to defend ourselves. They look at us as prey, Lord. They look at us as prey. So we're going to set up them prayers so he could deliver. You know what I'm saying? That's the times that we're coming in. All right, you got it, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, after reading that whole, let's say, the fourth thing, some people may ask, so what are you guys going to do? Well, we're going to, like the brother was giving his sentiment about, we're going to rely upon the Lord, because, yeah, we understand, like it says in Second Ezra, they're going to come down like madmen, sparing none. So we're not saying that, oh, okay, when this happens, we're going to stock up food, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. Now, there's nothing wrong if you do those type of things, but look, we understand that, look, even now, they're watching us, they're recording us, they know where we live. We had the incident that happened, maybe it was 3 years ago or so, the Jersey shooting that happened.
Yeah, I think it was 2019, I think.
2019?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was one of those incidents. They sent 2 FBI guys to my crib and started asking me questions. I'm not sure if I think it happened to the elder or maybe 2 elders as well, and things like that. So they know where we live. Now, mind you, they just I think it was the cop guy, or whatever. He took like our IDs or whatever down, and it was like, oh, okay. So after that happened, how did they know where to come exactly? It was like, that's that happening so quickly like that. It's kind of suspicious. Like, what's up with that? But basically, they know where we live. They know where we stay at and things like that. So they could come for us at any time. So that's why we're relying upon the Lord to defend us and take care of us in those times. And I have here Psalm 124:1. It says, a song of degrees of David. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. When the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul, which the waters and the stream represent what their armies. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul, Blessed be the Lord who had not given us as a prey to their teeth, which is their armies. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped. So when these certain scenarios happen, they're going to think that, okay, we have them surrounded, we have them prepared. There's no way they can escape, like the brothers going into Haran with Isaiah 59:19. When the enemy shall rise against you, the Lord send a damn it, I'm butchering it.
Standard against them.
The water, lift up a stand against you. So when they think that, okay, we got them surrounded, the Lord's gonna have what? You never know. He may do something real crazy, have a chariot pop up and just scare them back. Yo, what the hell is that? And just, I don't even know, because the Lord can just do what the Christians say. God works in mysterious ways. Well, yeah, he works in miraculous and mysterious ways. Psalm 18 tells that the Lord sent a chariot to deliver David out of a predicament he was in. The Lord could, like the bro saying, make you go invisible. They just pop up in the crib. They're looking for you. He just stand there invisible. And they're like, the hell is he at? And they have those certain technology with, I think it's the thermal goggles. They're looking for you on the goggles, under the bed. And it's like, fuck, we know he's here. We asked everybody. They didn't say he didn't go in here. Why is he not here? Search the block. Where is he at? All that type of stuff. You just did. Invisible. And that's going to what? Boost up your faith as well. Because it's going to be like, there was no way I was getting out of that situation. No way at all. How the hell did I just go invisible? Or the Lord could just have a Habakkuk you, have an angel just take you up out of there. Be like, yo, we had to go. It was no time. Verse 8. Our help is in the name of the Lord, which the name of the Lord is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai, who made heaven and earth. So that's who we're relying upon to help us in these times.
All right, let's finish off on that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13:6. And it reads, How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Right?
Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them.
Yeah, that's that part. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. So that fear is going to be out of your control. Right?
And sorrows shall take hold of them. And they shall be in pain as woman that travaileth.
As a woman that travaileth, right? Go ahead.
They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
Yeah, they're going to be amazed one another. But yeah, go. It says that their faces shall be as flames. So they're going to be in that state of astonishment, right? Being surprised, being caught off guard and not knowing what to do. Yeah, finish up on that.
Ezekiel 7:7. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come. The day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains.
Yeah, the day of trouble is near, and that's why we're sounding the alarm for that. Go ahead.
Now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thine abominations.
And so when all hell breaks loose and the judgments come, the famines, etc., that's going to be a recompense for the wickedness that our people were doing, that the Lord held his tongue against their wickedness for so long. Go ahead.
And mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity.
Mhm.
I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee.
There you go. Because when you were doing iniquity, you didn't consider. Your eyes didn't spare. You didn't have pity to say, "Damn, I'm transgressing against the ways of the Lord." So when the judgment comes, the Lord is not going to have that same pity for you. Right?
And ye shall know that I am Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai that smiteth.
There you go. And ultimately that's thus saith the Lord. Anyway, that was it on that. Anything else? Beautiful. All right, cool. So with that, we're gonna end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Until next time, Shalom.
Shalom to the elect. How about you? Shabra Katham to you, Akim. Shalom.
Shalom.